I've got something big in my heart to share for today that I believe will fit right in with what God is leading us as far as studying what Scripture has to say and what the Lord Jesus demonstrated concerning healing, health, and wholeness. How many of y'all have enjoyed this series so far? And I've got another part to it today, and then I've got another one for the next week, and then I think I got one more after that at some point. But if you brought a Bible with you can open with me to 3 John and verse 2. 3 John and verse 2. And I understand the weight of this subject because it hits people in so many different ways. Do you know what I mean by that? Sometimes people have different health issues in their own lives. Sometimes they've known friends, family, loved ones who've passed because of certain health issues and that sort of thing. And so I understand the weight of this. I don't take it lightly. And it's one of the reasons I'm endeavoring to tackle this, because this is important. This is an important part of our life, right? And so it's important that we know what God has to say concerning our health, concerning our healing. In fact, one of the primary quotes we've been kind of looking at the past couple of weeks is that it's impossible to claim a promise you're not sure God is offering, right? And so we need to know what God's promises are concerning our health, concerning our healing, right? And so we've kind of jumped into 3 John 2, and I've got another direction I want to go with it today, but let's start here. This is 3 John and verse 2, and it simply says, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers." Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers. Of course, the Apostle John is writing this to someone obviously that he cares about deeply, someone who's a leader in the church at that time. But I believe this is more than just like him just saying, I hope things work out for you. I believe this is demonstrating really the heart of God, right? That really John's heart for this man, for this believer, isn't greater than God's heart for you, right? So he says, I pray that you would prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers. Essentially saying in the same way that you're prospering spiritually, I want you to prosper in these other areas as well, like in what you set your hand to, in your business affairs, in the journey that you're on, in the race that you are running. I want you to do well in that. But also he mentions this kind of sandwich right in the middle here. He says, and be in health. And be in health. And as we've looked at this, we've kind of really got a grip on the fact that he's literally talking about your physical body, that he wants you to be well, to prosper in your physical health. And last week we looked at how really God made a way for us to be healed, right? And we looked at how Jesus paid the price, not only for our sin, but he took stripes upon his back. I know that was pretty intense, kind of looking at that last week, but it's important to know what Jesus has done for us. And we looked into 1 Peter where it says, by his stripes, or by whose stripes you were healed. Anybody thankful for what Jesus has done for us, for the stripes that he's taken upon his back for us so that we could be healed, right? Made whole in every way. Amen. Now, today is going to be a little bit more practical in application. And we're going to jump in here in Proverbs chapter 3. I guess I could have told you to turn there as well, but if you can manage to get to Proverbs chapter 3 as well, we're going to look at a couple of verses here. And what I'm going to tie in today, I believe, is going to help us run the race and finish the race that God has for us. Proverbs chapter 3 and verses 1 and 2, and then I'm going to look at a couple other verses as well in Proverbs. Are y'all ready for this? You're still with me? Proverbs chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. It says, "My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you." Now, I tend to read through the book of Proverbs every single month, just one a day. And every time I hit this one, it just jumps off the page to me that it says that if you'll pay attention to what God's instruction is, what his wisdom is, what his law is, his commands, that there's length of days and long life connected to that. Do y'all see that? Length of days and long life. And then not only that, he says, and peace. How many of y'all like that? Length of days, long life, and peace. So you're not just living a long, miserable life, but there's a peaceful life, a blessed life, really. So he says, they will add to you. Do y'all see that? Add to you. The title of this message today is Adding Years to Your Life. adding years to your life. Now, if you were to read just a little bit further, we get to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 16, and it says length of days, and talking about following God's will, God's word, his wisdom, particularly in Proverbs. He says length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. And then just a few chapters over is Proverbs chapter 9, verses 10 and 11, and it reads like this. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied. Your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. Years of life will be added to you. So we see here really three separate spots that there's some things that you can do as far as following wisdom, following instruction, following God's plan, his counsel, his command, that will literally add days and years to your life, and will also include peace and riches and honor. Now, I'm not making that up. We just read that, didn't we? That's what God is saying. So in a very real way, there are some things that you can do practically as far as following wisdom and following instruction and following God's will that can add years to your life, add days to your life, and not only add as far as quantity, as far as your days and years of your life, but there can be a quality of life that you have, a quality of life that you can have. And so today I want to cover some things that I believe are instructions from God, but also simple wisdom concerning our health and concerning the things that we do, the things that we don't do that can help us as far as enjoying life, walking in God's best, amen, and enjoying the long life that God has for us and enjoying it with peace and with his blessing. How many of y'all would like that? I guess that's not everybody. How many of y'all would like that? Most of you would. Amen. Now, I heard somebody say this recently. I thought it was pretty good. It's really a question, and it was this. If you had one car for the rest of your life, how would you take care of it? If you had one car for the rest of your life, how would you take care of it? Some of y'all may be thinking back to the first car. How many of you remember the first car that you ever had? Yeah. Mine was a 1989 GMC Jimmy, 2-door. Hallelujah. That's cool, I thought, right? Gray. I mean, I put some 10-inch subs in the back. Come on, somebody. I thought I was really doing something. A-town baller, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing it. I was only playing Christian music, all right? Like DC talk, you know what I mean? Like, if you only had one car for the rest of your life, how would you take care of it? Well, think about your body. Your body. You only get one. I know you're going to get a new body, but as far as how you function right here, right now on the earth, you got the body that you got. Hate to break that to you. For some of you, like, and it's good, praise the Lord. And some of you are like, help me, Jesus. You know, for whatever it may be, and everybody's body's a little bit different, right? Certainly. But if you had one car for the rest of your life, what would you do? Well, anybody take care of your car all right? I mean, how many of y'all change the oil when you're supposed to change the oil? Don't lie, come on. I had a friend in college, he didn't change the oil for like 25,000 miles. Yeah, his engine blew up, it's just done. It's like, done. He's just like, can't figure out what happened. I'm like, you're an idiot. So, right, you change the oil. I don't know about you, if the weather's decent, I wash my car. Right, on a regular, once a week I like to wash mine and my wife's car. Did it yesterday, right? And I've got some help I've included. Jude, praise the Lord, hallelujah, he's helping me out in washing the car. Right, I just want to take care of it, want it to look right, amen. I want to make sure that the tires don't, the tread don't get too low on that, I don't want my wife driving around a car like that and hit some water and then slide off the road or something foolish like that, right? I mean, it's just real practical sort of things, right? How many know it actually matters the kind of gas you put in your car? I realize certain cars require different kinds of gas at times. I remember when I was probably about 19 years old or so, and my dad had just bought a new car, his nice car. and it's like a sport kind of car, you know, and it required high octane gas. And so I can remember we were driving somewhere, I feel like toward Dallas somewhere anyway. So we were on a road trip, and so we were driving. Dad pulled over and to get gas. And he said, Aaron, I need you to put the gas in the car for me. I said, all right, yes, sir. He said, only put high octane, put the very top, 93, whatever, you know, only this vehicle requires high octane gas. You understand, son? I said, yes, sir, absolutely, got it. Yeah. So I get out of the car, and, you know, he gives me his credit card. And slide the car, do the deal, you know what I mean? And punch the little thing, you know, and put the thing in, you know. We pumping the gas, standing there, you know, paying attention like teenagers do. Pumping that gas, you know, just doing it, right? Finish, click, 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 done. Put it back, get back in the car, sit down. Dad said, Aaron, you put high octane gas in it, didn't you? I said, Now, son, I told you to put high octane gas in it right when you got out of the car, didn't I? Yes, sir. Did you put high octane gas in my car? Let me think about it for just a second, you know, like, that's a long time ago. Man, I was 5 steps away from it, right where I am right now. It's hard to remember that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He said, now, son, I told you to put high octane gas in the car. This is my new car. It requires high octane gas. It is a high performance engine. We don't need to be clucking down the road because you put the wrong gas in the car. I said, Dad, I'm really sorry because I think I put the wrong gas in the car. He's like, oh, Aaron, you need to pay attention when I am talking to you. And I'm like, yes, sir, absolutely do. Well, why was he on me like that? Well, it's a high performance vehicle that in order to get the performance out of the vehicle, you need to put the right kind of gas. It may cost an extra 20 cents. If you're in California, it might cost you an extra $5. Right? But in order for it to perform the way it needs to perform, it requires high octane. Well, think about your health, your body, right? I know many times we think we probably do okay when it comes to our body, our health, our diet, what we eat. Y'all getting nervous on me right now, aren't you? We probably think we do okay, right? You probably think you only eat fried chicken once every now and again. I've discovered you can eat fried chicken 7 days a week, 7 different places. I can eat Southern Classic on Sunday, Popeyes on Monday, Chick-fil-A on Tuesday. Come on, fried chicken sandwich on Wednesday from Wendy's. Albertsons ain't bad either, you know what I'm saying? I'll take that. Are y'all still with me on this? I mean, Cane's, oh, that's different. That's a strip. I do pretty good with my health. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how well if you really stopped and paid attention to what you're putting into that wonderful vehicle of your body, your flesh, how well you really do. I can remember a number of years ago, we had a minister here by the name of John Bevere, and he takes his health, his physical health, very seriously. And so we had prepared food for him after service, and we were going to have a grilled cheese bar, which sounds great, doesn't it? Grilled cheese bar, so that means we're going to have all kinds of cheese, all kinds of bread. We're going to have bacon, tomato, all kind of stuff you want to put on it, turkey, ham, whatever, all the good stuff, right? And so we're back there, and I'm back there, and a few other ministers are back there, and so we're all telling, what we want on our sandwich and that sort of thing. And so I asked him something about his diet, like what he eats, and he said, I don't have a diet. I said, okay. He said, I have a lifestyle. I'm like, oh, Jesus, here we go. Praise the Lord. Right when he said that, Kevin Burns, who was sitting right next to me, said, I'll take extra bacon on mine. He wasn't alone. I was having extra bacon on mine as well. I think sometimes we think we do really well, but we really need to pay better attention to what's going on to in our body, what we're putting in to our body. I told y'all a story last week of how I had discovered in a very powerful way that I had kidney stone. And so I'm not telling that story again. It was painful thinking about it all over again, right? But I ended up having to have a procedure done to have that kidney stone removed. While I was laying there about to have the procedure, they give you, before they knock you out, they knock you down just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I am thankful for all of it. Knock me down and knock me out, you know what I mean? So gave me a little something, they said, this is gonna make you relax a little bit. And I'm like, all right. Got my little hairnet on, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm thankful. Doctor came by and looked at my chart. He's looking at all my stuff because I've never drank alcohol, don't smoke, don't all these things are like that. The guy looking at my chart, he goes, "You're healthy. We don't get many people like that back here." So he said, "You're healthy." So thank you. Apparently, I got to make some adjustments though. My other doctor came back there, and right before we're about to roll it back and about to give me the real medicine, I told him a joke. Because he put an X right here on my wrist. Make sure we got the right side. Make sure we going into the right kidney. Come on, somebody. I'm thankful. Put the X on there. You know what I mean? Like, do what you tattoo it if you got to. I told him the joke about this is not in my notes. Sorry, y'all. I told him a joke about the guy who was in the hospital, and he was going to have one of his legs amputated, which is very serious. And so they did the surgery. The surgery's over, and doc came back, and he said, "I've got good news and bad news." He said, "Well, give me the bad news first." He said, "We amputated the wrong leg." He said, "Well, what's the good news?" He goes, "Your other leg's getting better." That's bad, I know, right? I can remember the story Kenneth E. Hagin, a prophet of God, would tell about how the Lord gave him instruction as far as speaking to another minister and warning them concerning a few areas of their life. And one of the areas, and you just don't think about this so much as being like the most spiritual thing, but one of the areas of this minister's life that the Lord told him to tell him to judge himself in this area, or it would cost him, was in his diet, in what he ate and how much of it that he ate. Most people's diet goes something like this, because you want to do well. Probably most people want to do well. Breakfast, half a grapefruit, 1 slice of plain whole wheat toast, 8 ounces skim milk. Lunch, 4 ounces of broiled skinless chicken breast, 1 cup of steamed broccoli, 1 Oreo cookie, and unsweetened tea. Mid-afternoon snack, the rest of the Oreos. 1 quart of Rocky Road ice cream and 1 jar of fudge. It's called the downhill diet. You're going downhill fast. For dinner, 2 loaves of garlic bread, a large pepperoni pizza, a pitcher of Coke, 2 Snickers, candy bars, entire frozen cheesecake eaten as you stand at the freezer. Everybody starts off good, then that midnight thing kicks in, right? So then in your diet, I will give you something else concerning your physical health in your body, and that just simply be exercise. Exercise. And when you say the word exercise, you have some people who love exercise, like are passionate about it and just love the idea of going out doing something. And then you have other people, the very word is like a curse word. It's like that despise the thought of movement, right? 1 Peter 4 and verse 8 simply says it like this. It says, "For bodily exercise profits a little, but godliness is profitable for all things, having promise of the life that now is and that which is to come." Bodily exercise profits a little, meaning a season, a short while. The reason godliness would be more profitable is because it is eternal, right? So that's certainly more valuable. However, while you're here on the earth, in this season, while you're here, you need to pay attention to what's going on with your body, and you need to exercise. You need to move. Come on. And it doesn't have to be like a preparation for a marathon, but it needs to be something consistent, right? The gym that I go to, there's an indoor track, and I love going there. The time that I go when I go on purpose, because that's when it's most retired folks there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I feel really good about myself when I'm walking around the track. Hallelujah. I'm lapping people all over the place. They're all in their 80s. You know what I mean? It's like, but in all seriousness, I'm always like impressed and inspired by, there's some ladies who are there exercising, they're working out, and when they go on, this one lady, I don't know if it's pennies or like pebbles or something like that, but she keeps track of how many times she goes around the lap by how many times she drops that pebble off on like a little shelf right there. So like, boom, she goes around. And I mean, just the sweetest lady, but she's getting her exercise in for the day. She's moving. She's doing something. Right? Most people's exercise like my dad's exercise. You know what I mean? Get up in the morning, run around the block, push the block back under the bed, and get back in bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how most people's exercise. Like, I did it. That was pretty good, right? But whatever's going to work for you, you know what I mean? You don't have to prepare for, like, I'm going to be a triathlete. If you like that, that's great. But for most people, you just need to move on a regular basis. You need to do something. Right? So for me, I love tennis, right? I love tennis. I love basketball, like sports. But I mean, if it's just a walk around the block in our neighborhood, I know exactly what 1 mile is. In the morning, I'll take a 1 mile walk and I'll pray the whole time. I'll pray, and it doesn't take long, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, take my time, but I'm praying and I'm walking around, right? And I still go to the gym and work out, but if you need a trainer, if you need someone to push you, you need to do that. You need to do that. You can't blame God for a poor diet and laziness. I'm losing somebody on that one. Hallelujah. Somebody walking out the church. You can't blame the Lord for poor diet and lack of exercise. Right? Like I said, I think we all think we're pretty good, but I read one study that New Orleans is the least healthy city in the United States of America due to the amount of alcohol consumption, fried food, heat, nobody wants to go outside, and lack of places to actually exercise, public places that you don't have to pay to go to a gym or something like that, right? So that's not far from here. Like, oh, those people in New Orleans really got problems. You know what I mean? It's like, no, we have to address this as well. And I'm not standing up here like I'm the picture of perfect health and all that sort of stuff, but I'm making adjustments. You can. And no amens on that one. Thank you, brother. The problem with most exercise, it doesn't seem like it pays off. At least not at first. Have you ever gone to the gym and work out? You look at all those 1,000 mirrors they got in there for you to look at yourself at, and you're like, it ain't working. You know what I mean? Like, I did that. I'm serious. I've done it. I've worked out, and all I got was pain. Push. Like, I'm pushing and it hurts. I don't really feel like pushing so much. You know what I mean? Like, chill. Take a nap. Come on, let's go to Dairy Queen. Let's do something else. Right? But be consistent. My papa, his name's B.B. Hankins, he's in heaven. And he would have told you, and my dad would tell you the same, that there was poor diet and poor exercise routine for him for many, many, many years. And it affected him later in his life. Later in his life, he started working out. He started trying to control his diet and that sort of thing. But I firmly believe he would have lived longer if he had made adjustments earlier. You know, Mickey Mantle, old school baseball player, he said, if I had known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself. Right? So let's make a couple of adjustments in these areas. Here's another scripture that'll help you. Are y'all still with me? Are y'all okay with this? You're like, Pastor, can you get back to the cross? Hallelujah. Like, I don't want to take up my cross. Let's focus on what Jesus did. Proverbs 17 and verse 22 says, a merry heart does good like a medicine. A merry heart does good like a medicine. More laughter more joy. Amen. One of the things that Aaron, Cody, and I have done over the years, particularly before we go to bed, we watch something we enjoy. We're going to laugh about. We're going to laugh. I'm going to go to sleep laughing. I like to be around people make me laugh. I like to have a good time. Amen. So laughter is good for you. He says, like a medicine. Someone said it like this, that laughing for 2 minutes is just as healthy as a 20-minute jog. I saw a meme that had that on there, and then someone said, well, I'm at the park sitting on the bench laughing for 2 minutes while everybody else walks. Praise the Lord. So, amen. Well, and if you're having a hard time finding something or someone to laugh about, just look in the mirror every now and then. No, I'm serious. I think some people take themselves way too seriously. I know it's a lot of heavy stuff going on in our world the past year and a half or so, but I mean, at some point, you're going to have to enjoy the joy of the Lord and let it be your strength and choose joy. Choose to feed on things that are going to produce joy. Amen. Amen. Here's another, Proverbs 18 and verse 21. I know I'm like throwing this out there like a buckshot, you know what I mean? But it's going to be helpful to you. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. These are things that affect your physical health. And of course, they'll affect your emotional and mental health as well. I'm going to get more to that next week. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. It matters what you say about your own body, your own health. Around here, we've taught and preached about the power of our words for many, many years. You know that's important according to Scripture, but it matters concerning your health. The way you speak about your own immune system, the way you speak about the things that you're facing and dealing with in your physical health, it matters what you are declaring. I say things like this: I am strong in the Lord and the power of His might. And I mean it spiritually, but I also mean it concerning my physical health. I am strong in the Lord. The Lord quickens my health. The Lord quickens my body. The Lord quickens my heart. The Lord quickens my immune system, my lungs, my body. Hallelujah. My body fights off infection and virus and disease in the name of Jesus. I am strong and quickened today. Hallelujah. And by the Spirit of God, He's quickening me, but also there's power in the words that I am speaking that affect my actual body. Matters what you say. Here's another. Honor. This is from Ephesians 6 and verses 1 through 3. Ephesians 6, 1 through 3 says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. And here's the promise: that it may be well with you and you may live long on the earth. Do y'all see this? Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about adding years to our life, enjoying life and having a good quality and good quantity as far as our days and our years. So again, what did it say? Honor your father and mother. Honor your father. Well, it should begin at an early age, that instruction, that teaching, the importance of that, right? But it should continue beyond childhood. Honoring mom, honoring dad, honoring your parents. But I believe it's also a precedent. It's a principle that's in place to honor those that are in authority. Amen. To honor not just all people, but honor the position that the Lord has placed people, or the position that they have for whatever reason, however they got there. I don't know about you, but I didn't choose my parents. Right? But I'm going to honor them. The older you get, the more you realize, well, we may not see everything the exact same way or have the same opinion about everything, have a different stance on different issues, but it doesn't mean I dishonor them. Honor a father, honor your mother. And he says specifically that it may be well with you and that you may live long on the earth. Did you know that if you're dealing with something physically in your health, you can actually point back to this scripture and stand on it? Lord, I know it doesn't sound like the most powerful healing scripture that there ever has been given, but think about it. The Lord promised that. The Lord said that. Lord, I'm honoring my father and my father and my mother. Now I know some people think I don't have to do that because my parents are mean. My dad was mean to me, or my mom was such and such, or my dad or mom weren't present, or whatever it may be, right? I remember listening to a message by a woman by the name of Joyce Meyer, teacher, and if you know anything about her story, you understand that she was raised in a very abusive situation, particularly from her father for years. And then her mother never did anything about it because she was afraid of what would happen, the fallout, and what it would look like, and how their life would change, and how would she survive, and all these kinds of things without the father around. So it was very abusive, very difficult, very hard for Joyce Meyer. Now the Lord brought healing, brought restoration, brought freedom to Joyce Meyer. If you know anything about her, she's a great teacher, author, all those kinds of things, right? But the Lord told her, as her parents were getting older, not only to forgive them, but to bless them. To bless them and honor them. And the Lord told her, move your parents to where you are, where you live, in the city that you live, and I want you to take care of them in any and every way that they need it. And she's thinking, but Lord. Anybody ever had those moments? But Lord. You know what I mean? I can't do that. No. Bless them. She said, I moved them to my city, paid for anything and everything that they needed, took care of them. She said, I thought it'd be a short amount of time. She said, they lived 13 more years. 13 years. It's like, dear God, hallelujah. Like, whoo, they're really kicking. All right. What's she doing? Honoring. Here's another. I got two more for you. And this is a simple word, but it's the word pace. P-A-C-E, pace. That would be your lifestyle, your routine. If you continually run or live life at a pace that you are unable of keeping up with, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. It'll be difficult if you're married. It'll be difficult on your marriage. It'll be difficult for your children, right? You've got to have some sort of routine. You've got to have some sort of rest. You've got to have some sort of pace that can last, right? And understand there are different seasons where it seems like there's a lot going on. There's different seasons where it's like, all right, we can relax here. I understand that. We live life. We have 3 kids. They've all, done everything, school and soccer and church and all the things, right? I get that. However, your kids don't need to be in 5 different sports. Now, we have lost church members on this one before, so we'll see how this goes. Right? But little Johnny is not God. And if you're married, little Johnny isn't number 1. Not even number 2. We have serving the Lord, Jesus, God's first, and then if you're married, your marriage is after that. Not your kids. Not your kids. The kids are down there. They need to know they're down there. You love them, but they're underneath that. If you have kids, particularly still around. Now I remember our kids have been involved in a lot of different things. I told you that. And at one point, Jude was doing swimming, karate, soccer, and a couple of things. I'm like, my God, something about to give. Something about to quit. Something. You pick, I pick. One of us is going to pick, but something about to quit. Swimming's out. Karate's out. Pick it back up later if you need to. Right now, soccer. We got practice twice a week, and we got ball game on Saturday. That's 3 things. 3 things. You can't do nothing else. We got church. Right? So something's got to give. My relationship with the Lord's not going to give. My relationship with my spouse isn't going to give. Hallelujah. Amen. And when it comes to your work schedule, boy, I'm getting all on the toes today, aren't I? That's all right. When it comes to your work schedule, hallelujah. I know I'm working for a retirement. All right, you better make sure you still got a wife after you finished. Right? You better pay attention. I heard the story of this one minister. This is in South America where they had a really big church. A lot happened. This is a crazy story. But his wife, and they had so many services, so many different things, so many things going on. Just so busy, so much happening. And his wife was just so annoyed and so whatever, put up with all of that. She actually hired someone to go to church for her who looked just like her. And the pastor didn't notice for 2 years. That's a problem. Right? So you've got to discover a healthy pace for your life. A healthy pace for your life. Aaron, Cody, and I, we make sure to endeavor to have a date night from time to time, at least a couple times a month. We're getting away this week for our anniversary. Don't apologize for it. We're going to have a great time. Probably going to post pictures. Hope you like them. I don't apologize for it. If we don't work, a lot of things ain't going to work for us. So we put a priority on it. Your pace of life. Amen. Sometimes your pace is what's causing your problem. Again, Brother Hankins said it this way. I thought it was really good. He was going really, really hard in ministry at the time. Really, really hard in ministry. And then he asked the Lord to help him, strengthen him, help me. And the Lord said, it's kind of like you're hitting your thumb with a hammer and then asking me to heal it. And then when it gets better, you hit it with a hammer again. And then, what's the problem with my thumb? It's not the lack of grace or anointing or healing that is provided by Jesus. The problem is your pace. Amen. Praise the Lord. This is the last one. Purpose. It's a big word, purpose. And you live life following the plan and really filled with the purpose of God. There's a strength that you have, an excitement and anticipation you can wake up with that'll bring health to you. Amen. And when you're running the race that God's called you to run, there's grace to run that race. There's grace to run that race. There's help on that road. Amen. Now, one study said this, and I'm going to close with this. One study said this, that maybe 100 years ago, most sickness and disease was connected to infectious disease, something like that. But now there's more that's connected to stress. Stress. And that's something I'm going to talk about next Sunday.